Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing amazing. So in the last episode, we got our factory up and running for modular frames, and this thing has been doing the work. Let me tell you, so I have been doing a bunch of other stuff, and I've had to unload the factory a couple of times into the awesome sink. And actually, it just finished a batch. So if we look here, yeah, we were running frames in here. We've got 21 coupons again. So we will really be able to get a lot of things. I think we have a whole whopping 1 coupon over there. But yeah, we still have a bunch of stuff that we need to get here. Light control panel. We're not going to be able to do any of that until we have some major stuff. I think there was actually some of the wall-related things that I want to get still, and potentially a couple of these foundation parts. But really, I think we're going to hold off on that. There is plenty more that we can get here. But between episodes, I did a thing, and we now have a little mundane-looking factory over here in the copper area. So, yes, I got all of the copper up and flowing again, so we are getting a full 120 belt of the wire so that we can send 90 a minute over to the modular frame factory and 30 a minute over to our storage system. Now, the rest of it, we are making 15 copper sheets and I think 30 cable per minute, and that comes up to exactly 120 copper ore per minute. And so what I did, I went ahead and ignore the spaghetti right now. I intend to fix that. But what I did was to overclock this miner Mark 1. And so we have overclocked it to 200%, giving us a full 120 ore per minute. Now you can see this thing is running at 100% efficiency, and that is because we then have that coming over here, splitting into 4 smelters. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. We can see the smoke pouring outside, and we can also see that from over here. So yeah, it's kind of neat. But then the 120 ingots come up here, and they are split immediately. Now, going off this way, we have the copper sheets. Now, I did have to overclock this by 50% to get the 15 per minute, but that's taking 30 ingots per minute, leaving us with 90. So that 90 split at 115, at 15 ingots per constructor. With 9 constructors, we are making wire. Now, 2 of those 6 are being combined together and sent into the cable constructor, and so we have no efficiency problems here whatsoever. Every bit of everything is going, and I am loving it. Now, I will say this factory, like I said, is very drab. It definitely could be a lot better. But hey, it does the job. Now, one thing that I will say about this factory, it's turned at 45 degrees to the world grid. I did not realize that I was building it that way. It actually worked out better that way anyway because I was able to come around this rock. But yeah, it is turned at 45 degrees. So if we come out here, we can see, yeah, actually it might not even be turned at 45. It might be something else. But eventually we will be tearing this back down because it doesn't exactly have the ability to be upscaled as we improve. So, yeah, not really happy about the fact of the design, but it is serving its purpose at the moment. But yeah, that guy, I'm loving it. It looks amazing. It's doing its job well. And we have all of the modular frames that we need to be able to get into steel. Now, the problem with getting into steel is we are running out of power again. Yes, 12 I'm sorry, we have 8. We have 8 coal generators right now, and that is not enough to keep us going. So, before I can get into steel, I need to go back over to the coal power area and build even more generators. Now, what I will probably do is add... I think we're going to add another 16 generators over there. And the way that I'm going to do that is by double overclocking, 200% overclocking on all of those miners over there. So that should give us plenty of power to keep going. And there's also another little thing that I want to do, and that is to not be putting our water production where it was. So one of the issues that I know we're going to run into is space in the area where the generators are. We can get a huge amount of coal out of the 4 nodes that are there, and so we're going to have tons of coal generators in the future to consume all of that coal. But thankfully, we don't have to have the water down below. So what I am actually going to do, and we can see it from here, if we pop over here, I am going to build the water pumps up here at the top of the waterfall. And so that will allow us to stack up quite a bit of the generators, and there shouldn't be any issue whatsoever. And we should also be able to then have the water flowing by gravity into the various generators. So yeah, like I say, I got a lot of work to do on that. Should be able to come back with, let's see here, so we get 600 for that. So we are going to be tripling, so we should have 1800 megawatts when I come back. Well, apparently I don't know how to math, because I thought for some reason that I was quadrupling the amount of power that I was getting here. No, I was only tripling. But we now have 1800 megawatts available, so that is working beautifully. Now, I want to show you guys what I did here with the water, because you can see the entire original generating platform and all of its water pumps are gone, and we have this massive platform now with 12 generators going on each side. We will be able to increase the size of this quite substantially as time goes on. But we have these overhead water pipes coming in here. We're feeding 4 generators with each pipe, and that is definitely working out great. And if we follow this catwalk up, we can see there's actually 6 pipelines coming in here in order to accommodate the 24 generators. And these follow around and around and then up the waterfall, and then they continue on further and further. Now, there are a couple of things here that I want to show. So first off, when I got down here to the bottom of this waterfall, I found out they did follow the trope. There's a cave behind the waterfall. We'll have to look at that eventually. But then if we continue up, we do have an observation platform up here. So if we pop over here, we can go across the pipe and onto an observation platform. We can look out over the lake, or we can look out over this area. Either way, it's kind of neat. So we continue around here, and we have, I think it's 12 water pumps here. Now, these are not set at 100%. I actually set them at 95 cubic meters per pump, so we are pumping slightly more than what the generators are using, but that's okay. They will just cycle on and off every once in a while, and it looks like I missed taking out a couple of platform or foundations here. And so, yeah, let's get that all cleaned up. So then also I did add these fluid buffers, and these kind of smooth out the flow. Each one of the pipelines has its own fluid buffer, so we have a full storage, and then we can kind of see, how we're doing on our flow rates. Was kind of fun to make a bunch of these pipes work, but yeah, it is a nicely working system, and we're holding steady on all of our power. So I've got to get back to the base, get my inventory cleaned out. It is full of junk. Got to gather up the stuff that we need to go and start making some steel, and then I will be back. So we should have everything together now to be able to start building some of our stuff. So one of the things that I did here, let's see if we can find a spot that I can see it here. So I have started messing with the to-do list. Now, to do that, we come over here to the side of the screen. You can see there's a little darkening of the edge of the screen, and that will allow us to edit our to-do list. And the to-do list, it has some formatting, so if you do a double bracket, it automatically changes it to the spaced double bracket in orange, and then if you add an X in between, then it makes it a little X so that we can show that it's done. Now, I have in here that we need to do coal miners and truck stations. Yes, plural. So we need to hit both of those pure coal nodes on the south side of the map. And so we will have a path for the tractor to go between those two. Then we need the receiving truck station for the coal over by our iron nodes on the other side of this hill. And then finally we need the iron miners and logistics. Now, the amount that I am planning on being able to use is going to take 5 foundries to do. Now that's going to produce at least 210 steel per minute, which is going to be very nice, but of course we'll have to split that into 2 units. Now the other thing, when I came back here to the base, I had spent so much time over working on power that our modular frame factory was completely full and everything had backed up. Our copper factory had filled up all of these storage, and it had completely backed up, and the same with the concrete. And so I did add a sink up here at the copper factory, and it is taking half of the cable and copper sheets and dumping them straight into the sink. Now, if the system completely backs up, like it has done with the copper sheets, 100% of that will then be able to go into the sink. So, yeah, it was kind of an important little step, but we are going to be making consistent points and getting consistent coupons. We have 30 of them already. So, yeah, I suppose the first thing I'm going to do is head down to the coal nodes. So if we scan for coal and take a look here, so we should have one coal node right about here, and then one coal node, I think, right here. So yeah, there's the one. It's actually a little further over than I thought. And then the other one should be right here. And so what we'll do is we'll have, because we're going to have this steel factory in this area, we'll have the tractor go down, grab coal from this one, grab coal from that one, and then bring it back. Not going to bother with making any roads or anything at the moment. And we do have to accommodate for the tractor to use some of that coal for its own propulsion. So I'm going to head down to those coal nodes, get that stuff set up. I should have a great deal, plenty of resources. And we're not going to make anything super fancy, just primarily a foundation and miner and a little bit of stuff. And I guess we need to, oh geez, we need to get power out there too. So I'm going to have to drag power out there. So I'll get to that and I'll see you guys in a bit. So, right up on top of this rock formation is our first coal node, but over here we have an entrance to a cave. So, yeah. So down in here, there's a cave. So we will have to keep that in mind for some exploration later on. But I think what we're going to do, because it is rather difficult for the tractor to get up onto here, is we will actually put the truck station down here and just conveyor belt that over to here. But let's go ahead and get up on top of this and see. I'm pretty sure it is quite a ways up. So see if we can get this lined up properly. Sounds like there's some bad guys up there as well. So let's go ahead and get out our gun. Need to go a bit higher. Yep, there they are. So let's get up here on top of this and see, can we shoot them from here? Nice. Whee! Whoa! Hello! Ow! That was painful. Thankfully, he's right there on the edge. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, then. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ourselves a foundation up here. We'll just put one on there somewhere. That should work. And we'll just remove this and rebuild the ladder off of that. Oh, and it doesn't quite make it to the ground. Oh, well. Pretty close, though. Alright, let's get up here. This should be a pure node. We shouldn't have any other bad stuff up here. Can we pick this up? Wow, that's surprising. So, yeah, we're looking pretty good up here. Now, I believe the sulfur node was not too far away from this as well. I think it's like right over on the back side of that. Let's just see here. So if we scan for sulfur, yeah, so it's right over on the back side of that, over by those purple leaves. So we could also be collecting sulfur here and maybe make some black powder. Now, with the addition of steel, we will be able to start making nobelisks, which I am really looking forward to. Also, down in this crater, there are 3 limestone nodes. And over to the side here, we just barely make it out. But there is a crash site over here, and we'll have to see if we can get that later as well. But for now, the big thing is getting this coal. So let's go ahead and grab some foundations. We're just going to use some 4-meter foundations, build this out. And I think that should be a great deal plenty. Let's go ahead and grab our chainsaw. This is... Oh, come on. And I ran out of power before I was able to do it. Well, we do have more biofuel down in the tractor. But, let's see here. So, first one of our Mark 1 miners. And I think we're going to face it this direction. And yeah, this guy's going to be producing 120 coal per minute. Now, of course, we can't do any more than that because that's the best our conveyor belts can handle. So now I just need to get this down there, build a runoff platform for the truck station, and then we can go over to the next one, which I believe is over at about that rock formation there. So, yeah, let's get this taken care of. And now we've got the second truck station set up. Now, I will say this one was a total pain to get set up because there's the miner on the other side of the void. So, yeah, that was loads of fun. But the other thing is just over here to the side, I was hitting some radiation. I don't know where it's at, but apparently there's some uranium around there somewhere. But now at this point, we need to head back to the area where we're going to be making the steel factory and get the dock set up for these guys. But we can also mark this one off. So let's go ahead and come up here. We'll place our little X inside of here. And I have caps lock on. That's nice. And there we go. So now our coal miners and truck stations are completed. Let's go get our receiving stuff set up. Alright, so we're back over by the cliff, and I have set up another truck station that will be receiving the coal from the tractor. Now, one thing to keep in mind is to make sure that you toggle this to unload, because if you don't, it won't allow things to be unloaded. It will only allow things to be loaded. Now, the other thing is I want to make sure that I get power over here, because that's going to be a pretty big deal. But I have also laid out a large concrete foundation that will give us enough room for all of our forges, and I have set up the 2 miners that we need right now as well. So let's go ahead and hook these guys up, get them powered up and ready to go. So that guy looks like he's about there. That'll work. Alright, so now the big thing here is I don't recall. Let's just check and see. So for the iron on normal with Mark 1, that's part of my problem. I think I had it set to Mark 2. So yes, for this to work, we are going to need to overclock both of these, or I guess we could also set up this third one and only overclock one of them. That might be the better option, or we could take these two to 50% over. But yeah, so we are going to need to get this third node as well. Either that, or we could also have some remote iron collection, because I believe just over here there's 2 impure nodes. But I think for now, we don't have enough. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves an equipment workshop, because I was not planning on needing to make another one of these. Can I craft, please? Thank you. There we go. I hate the tilde button. Okay, so one of the things that you may see from time to time is let's go ahead and put this foundation here. And what you'll find is it will not let you place the miner on top of the node. And all that you need to do to be able to counteract that is to expose a small amount of the node and then point at the node. When you do that, it will register that it is supposed to build on that node, but it will also build on the foundations that it is sitting on. Now the thing is the extendable legs will extend all the way down to the ground, and then we just bury them into the foundation. Doesn't look quite as nice as having this, and it may reset on a reload. I don't remember. But yeah, we are going to have the third one as well. So the next thing then is to do all of the logistics for this, and it is going to take quite a bit of logistics here, because we have to get 210 iron ore, which is going to be split on 2 Mark II belts, split in evenly into 5 foundries. So I am going to be giving the foundries a fair amount of space. I'm giving them 2 foundations each. So if we go through here, we'll just go ahead and place all these down. And then what we're going to have to do, like I say, is figure out how to evenly split the 3 inputs, which cannot fit onto a singular belt, into 5 even outputs. That is going to be a lot of fun. So let me do some math. I'll go grab my overclockers, because we're going to need a couple for, well, I think I've only got 2 left anyway, so I'll probably overclock those 2 at 50%. That will slightly reduce the amount of power consumption. Speaking of which, whew, man, we are pumping up the power consumption. Almost 800 already. So, yep, I'm going to go get those overclockers and work out some logistics. Well, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I thought the logistics was going to be a lot harder than it ended up being. So, what I realized is that for these 5 smelters, we can't do better than 210 iron ore per minute, which means 1 overclocked miner at 50% over plus 2 without any overclocking actually gives us that 210. Well, 50% over on a normal node with a Mark 1 miner gives us 90, which is half of what two foundries need. So I just have that one going out into a splitter. It is splitting just between those two. And then the combined output of these two, which will give us 120, will be sent into these 3 evenly. Now, I know that does not come up to 45 for each one. It actually comes up to 40, but we're going to let it flow full force into there because of the simple fact that we are going to be getting a bit of coal that we're not entirely sure how much we are actually going to be using for the transportation. So it's probably best just to let this do what it needs to do. Now, I'm really hoping, that's what I was afraid of, not going to be able to merge these straight into that. So what I'm probably going to have to do, bring this out about there, bring this one out, we'll bring it out to there. Then we will set our merger in line with this guy. And this is not going to be terribly pretty. Is that? Really? Is that really? Nice. Okay. So this one here, we would have to kind of get it a bit different, but we'll just do that. So that's going to give us what we need there. Then we need the Mark II belt to connect there. And now, thankfully, the truck station has 2 outputs because we can only haul off 120 at a time from that. Now, the limiting factor is going to be the coal, so I am just going to let it flow at full speed. Not going to worry about anything. So whatever the miners are capable of putting out is what these guys are going to be running. So at this point now, I just need to get the coal fed into these, get the recipes set, get power hooked up to them, and then we can actually turn this whole thing on. I've got to get a path for the tractor though too. And also that means I need to build another tractor. So yeah, I will try to get a bunch of this worked out and I'll be back. So I have delivered the first batch of coal myself. The truck station is sending it out to the foundries and they are making steel. Now, what I'm going to do here, we are going to swap out the fuel from the tractor for coal. We're gonna hop onto this thing, go ahead and enable the autopilot, and then hop back off. And this guy should... Where on earth are you going, buddy? You can't drive through the truck station, dude. That just does not work. Do I need to manually get you set on your way? There. Go. Find your path. There you go. So hard to let him go. Well, he's doing his thing now. So, what I realized was the logistics for this was not going to be difficult in making the foundries work. The difficulty is going to be in getting their outputs to work. So I need to run the steel from these 5 foundries into 5 constructors. Now those 5 constructors will be making us 40 steel pipes and 37.5 steel beams per minute. So That doesn't work out very good, because to make 40 steel pipes, we need 60 steel ingots, and the remainder of it, the 150 that are left, need to go for the steel beams. Now the problem is that we get 45 out of each of these. So the only way that I can do that, I have to actually come in here. We'll grab a splitter. Oh, that's right. I had to unload my inventory. Let's go ahead and grab all of that. That'll give us stuff that we need. So what we'll need to do, we need to come in here with a splitter. And we'll run right off of this foundry there into a splitter. And then we are going to run into a merger. Let's see, we can't get on top of there. Let's go ahead and put a belt. If I can hit the right button. Let's go ahead and put a belt there so that I can get up onto here. There we go. So now, if we put a merger right here, we see it's going to have an output straight forward. That'll be fine. And then we'll put another merger here, but this one we will put going that direction. That will work pretty much perfectly. So now we will grab our conveyor belts. We'll have... I thought you worked. Maybe I have to go one further out. Yeah, I do. Okay, so we'll have that guy there. Remove you. Put this guy here, outputting that direction. Belts here, here, and here. So that is going to split the output of this foundry into 15 going that way, 30 going that way. Then we can take the output of this foundry and we will go like this. 1, 2, right there. Connect that in here. So the combination of the 15 coming out of this one and the 45 out of that one should give us 60 going on the output of this guy. So this belt here should contain 60 ingots per minute. The remainder of this we will need to combine together into 2 belts because we need 150 ingots here, which we cannot transport with a single belt. So again, difficulty in logistics. So I may have to do this particular process again because, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't remember how many ingots a constructor needs for, let's just see here, for the beams. So for the beams, they need 60. So yeah, we have 30 here. We're going to have, and you know what? We're going to have to do that a bit differently anyway, because these 3 here are the ones that are the minimalized ones. Oh, and there he goes. Look at him go. Look at him go. But, yeah, we'll have to split that first one, the first 2, because they are guaranteed to run a full 90 ingots between the 2 of them. Oh, yeah, like I said, the logistics on this is going to be ridiculous to try to get worked out. I'm going to have splitters and mergers all over the place. Well, I guess if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. So let me see if I can get this worked out. I'm not proud of it. It is so ugly, it's not even funny. But this should give us the proper split. So over here on this side, pop over here, we are splitting the output of the second smelter, or foundry, into 3. And so we are combining the extra 15 with the 45 over there, giving us 60 total on this side. And that is being split into 2 constructors making pipes. And we should actually have, yeah, we've got a decent number of pipes already. Going the other direction, we are taking the 30 that's left over here, combining that with another 30 from this one, and that gives us a full 60 going into this guy, making beams. The other 15 from this guy is being combined with a full 45 from this one, and giving us 60 for this one for beams. Now that leaves us with an oddball. So this guy here, I have him currently set for 7.5 steel beams per minute. And so I underclocked this foundry to only do 30 ingots. So that should keep everything flowing, and it will also let us know quite easily if we are going to be keeping up with our coal. But now that that is all flowing, we should be able to see if our coal is going to be working. You know, our smelters are running, or our foundries should be running nonstop. I saw that guy turn off. Either that or he was outside of the level of detail. I don't know. But I will have to kind of keep an eye on these guys for a little while, because I want to make sure that everything is working properly, but also we need steel pipes and steel beams to continue forward. So I'll let that go for a while, make sure that everything is good, tweak it if I need to, all of that good stuff. But yeah, it seems like everything is working. So I think we made some good progress in this one. I think I'm going to call it quits. So if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you want to see me work on, be sure to leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!